My name is Pius Odhiambo, and I am the fourth grandson of Muyoma Kochola, who is the grandfather of the late John Muyoma Opondo. John Muyoma Opondo is my paternal uncle, and I am here to join his family in passing my message of condolence. The late John Muyoma Opondo was not just a great man, but an institution in his own right. Fondly known as Awele Kwach, he is a man of many fasts. As I grew up in the village, John Muyoma was like my father, and I enjoyed his company, which was characterized by his many exciting stories about his service in the colonial army abroad. He told me that he was a soldier in the colonial British Army, and he worked as a driver in the Second World War. His last duty station, by the time the Second World War was ending in 1945, was South Africa. He used to pronounce it as South Africa. After the war ended in 1945, he returned home and trained as a mason, a skill he used to transform our community. Mzee John Muyoma was the chief contractor that built Sega Catholic Missions institutions, the hospital, and the associated schools. He also built Ukwala Catholic Church, among others. He would come to the community and hire laborers to work for him. Among his laborers was my own father, Mzee Lucas Madiany, who is in the congregation here. In his national ID card, it is captured that the late John Muyoma was born in 1923, a fact that I reject with absolute certainty. Going by his many stories that he used to tell us, I suspect that Mzee Muyoma might have been born around 1918, when the First World War was just ending, making him to live beyond 100 years. I am not sure if there's going to be another descendant of Muyoma Kochola who will live beyond 100 years like Mzee John Muyoma. Mzee John Muyoma was a sharp man and could name his grandfathers up to the 10th generation. I tried recalling them, but I was unable, and here it goes. Nyinga John Muyoma, Muyoma Opondo, Opondo ka Muyoma, Muyoma Kochola, and Ochola Kahandulo. John Muyoma was a polygamist, and I remember vividly how we used to refer to our mothers, Mino Yengo, Mino Chola, Mino Rucha, Nyarmualo, Achieng, Mino Duor. Mino Rucha died long time ago, before I was born, and I never saw him. I was later told that the late John Muyoma had other 3 wives during his youthful stage in the stations where he served in the colonial military, including South Africa. Going by this, it is suspected that there are descendants of John Muyoma in South Africa. Whether this is true or not, I don't know. Polygamy was Mr. John Muyoma's way of life, just like it is in other parts of Luoland, in Kenya, and the rest of the world. As Luos, we do not practice polyandry, and it is an abomination. Polyandry is a practice where a woman is married to many men at the same time, as it is the practice in some parts of the world. But here in Luoland, our culture and traditions accepts and recognizes polygamy. The law also recognizes polygamy. I am not a polygamist and I have no intention of becoming one, but I wish to state that it is not criminal to be a polygamist. Mr. John Muyoma was an avid sportsman. He owned a bicycle, a big music system, and a walking stick. I would watch him ride his bicycle when he is from work, and during those days when he is not at work, he will sit under the historic obe tree in his home compound, otherwise known as Sewanda, while listening to his music from his big record player, surrounded by his many friends, and enjoying and drinking his favorite liquor, changa. Throughout the village, I did not see any other man that owned a big record player like that of Mzee John Muyoma. Mzee John lived his life to the fullest and was among the first in the lineage of Muyoma Kochola to work abroad in South Africa. A few of us work in foreign countries. We are not the first and will not be the last. We are just following the footsteps of Mzee John Muyoma. I challenge the young people in this lineage to keep the spirit of John Muyoma alive by seeking employment opportunities in foreign countries. If by 1945, John Muyoma was working in South Africa, why not the young generation of today from his lineage? Today, as we lay Mzee John Muyoma to rest, he is going to the grave with a lot of history collected and witnessed over a period of 100 years, history that is witnessed in hospitals, schools, and churches that he helped build with his rare skill as at that time. These schools and institutions have remained steadfast and is serving our communities around here. If you talk of Sega Girls High School, fondly referred to as Kasista, Manotiji John Muyoma. Sega Catholic Church, Manotiji John Muyoma. Sega Girls Primary School, Manotiji John Muyoma. Ukwala Catholic Church, Manotiji John Muyoma. And the list is endless. In recognition of Mzee John Muyoma's achievements, at a time when the world was still asleep, I take this opportunity to request the young generation, all grandchildren of Muyoma, to rename the federal WhatsApp group that was created a couple of weeks ago after John Muyoma's grandfather, Muyoma Kochola. This will enable the young generation track their history, Joka Muyoma Kochola. Rest in peace, Mzee John Muyoma Opondo. We celebrate you with your achievements. Digikwe Awele Kwach, Wadi Juliana Nyar Nund, Nyar Puoyo. Ka ichopo kono, Mosnua Madiany Piro Uda Dongo Thurep, Oke Umasiro, Uduoru Madiany, Dismas Opondo, Wanpaka, Juliana Nund, Oyugu Petro, Ochola Police, Othiena Soso, Ochola Ndulo, Agola Thamas, Oyugi Jamwa, Oluoch Koyugi, Anoduho, Legina Miruka, Choli Muyoma, Urucha Muyoma, Lihari Agola Thomas, Omondi Ochola Ndulo, Owin Ochola Ndulo, among others. An Oyugi ka Lucas ka Madiany ka Muyoma, Muyoma Kochola, Ochola ka Handulo, en kamano.